The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Greg Portzline is here. He's a certified arborist at Bartlett Tree Experts. How are you, Greg?
I'm well, thanks. How are you guys?
Yes, fantastic. Other than a little wet and soggy out there. Yeah.
Congratulations on the new car.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm sure it'll rain now until October.
Congratulations. It's like having kids.
It is.
Congratulations. You're going to be paying for it forever.
Right, forever. Yeah. Exactly. But, hey, Greg, a lot of people are looking at their property right now, and I'm seeing the normal stuff pop up. So your daffodils are popping up,
your crocuses, right? your usually bulbed perennials are the first to come along, but we are seeing a lot of trees in flower. So the maples are in flower, the willows are in flower.
Wow.
People don't often associate flowering with trees, but they are a plant that do flower. They're nothing showy that you're going to look at, but it's just a sign of the season.
Just was traveling for maple syrup.
Yes, you were.
And taking photos, and there was a maple tree flowering, and I never really paid attention. Little red buds.
Yep, those are your silver maples, which are very common around here.
And they were beautiful. I actually tried to take some pictures. They're small, like you said. They're not putting on a big show.
Right.
But I'm like, those are interesting. When you do an autofocus and it's like jumping all over the place, but it's so small. It was having one of those moments.
Yeah, so people don't realize too. Very, very important to your pollinators, your honeybees.
Sure.
This is a very early pollen source for them and nectar source. So
that's nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even my hostas are popping up too. The leafy part of the hosta. Well, so what can people do right now? Why would they have you over to the house at this time of year?
Yeah, so this is a great time. Still early, so not a lot of leaves. We can assess structure. Address pruning needs. We can, look over the general site with all this rain we've had this last week. We can, if we walk by and see a downspout that's dumping on a tree that doesn't like water, which is very common, we can address that with you. Just point out the early spring things that tend to turn into problems in the summer, but now is the time to get on top of them.
And just to give some people some free advice so that it encourages them to do the bigger jobs with you, should they be worried about the amount of rain? Some people think they're going to drown out their flowers, and there's really nothing you can do, right?
Right. No, I mean, most trees that are sold in nurseries and that are native, of course, are meant to be here. The issue we create is we put the wrong tree in the wrong spot. So that's...
You mean spot like in the yard or spot like in the country?
Both, but let's stick to the yard. So yes, you don't want to put a beautiful birch in standing water, right? There's trees, but you could do a river birch in standing water. Some people, our entire, what we would say encompasses the listening region of this station. Sure. We are developed swampland, so we have many low spots and pretty poor soils, to be honest, for most trees, heavy wet clay, and a lot of trees, they don't like that.
Are you suggesting that I grew up in clay? Are you suggesting I'm a swamp monster here? Is that what you're suggesting?
So I live in Cicero, and I grew up I pretty much grew up in Cicero swamp. So it's our area. Kirkville, East Syracuse, Chittenango. From here to, you start to climb the hills a little bit when you go south. But in general, we're a wet area, and most of the trees that are sold and are grown natively, they're okay.
I bet you a weeping willow tree loves this weather.
It. Yeah. We do great.
We used to have one in the back of the house.
We did too.
And my parents were always like, we hate that tree because it was messy.
We could swing from it.
But it was right by the runoff from the golf course from right where Chick-fil-A and Wegmans are now. And that tree flourished on that corner.
Yeah, and it's a little bit unfortunate. A lot of our anyone listening that drives up and down 481, 81, 690, the ashes were a very prominent wet, lowland, wetter species, and they're all dead now because of emerald ash borer.
Is that what I see when I go along and there's a swamp and all the trees are dead?
Absolutely.
And it's like, it almost looks like there was a fire. And they're standing there. Those are
just because of one dang bug.
Yep, emerald ash borer has come through. It's been in the Syracuse area for 20 years now. And if you don't have an ash tree that is treated, it's long gone at this point. So
wasn't there any animal that liked to munch on those things?
There is where it came from over in Asia, but here, nope.
So you could walk on a property if it's a subdivision home or a bazillion acres and go, okay, here's a plan.
Yeah,
you get
absolutely.
to do that because a plan is better than going, okay, how do we save that? This one's got fungus. This shouldn't have never been here. And is that the fun part for you guys where you go, 3 XYZ trees would work here?
Yeah.
Is that fun?
It is. And the most rewarding thing, I would think it's also, similar to like your medical doctor, is diagnosing a problem, prescribing things to solve said problem or help, and seeing the fruits of your labor, your tree improving and just looking much better. I mean, I can think of plenty of trees that, people thought were on the brink of death and maybe were, that are thriving today because of the different services we can provide.
Yeah, I thought of the birch tree. We had a birch in the front yard. Yeah. It did fine. It hasn't been there for a while now, but I don't know. Can you bond with a tree? Is that weird? It was like, it was really,
sure you can.
It was really special,
Yeah. So, I mean, we have, I have lots of clients that have very meaningful trees to them. A beloved pet dog that they planted when the dog passed away, parents, things, memorial trees and those sorts of things. Or just capture a moment in time for somebody. Oh, I planted this tree when my kids were little. They climbed this tree.
So Tom, when you go by, you live up by CNS. When you go by the high school, there's a big birch tree right in the front of the high school.
Yes, I know that tree well.
So I graduated at 19. We used to climb that tree.
Oh, no kidding.
And I always kind of like give it a little wave, like, how you doing? We used to sit in that tree.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
So it's very common.
So everybody, Bartlett Tree Experts, tree experts, and lots of other things in relation to agricultural home needs that you can speak into.
I mean, we're not horticulturists, but we can certainly point you in
how to put it all together.
Yeah.
656-2323, of course, Bartlett.com, and you see them all over town, Tom.